deep fried squash or breaded squash, not... Welcome guys to Coin Kitchen, where every penny counts. I am your host, Funky Little Fork, and behind the camera is my trusted assistant, Miguel from Barcelona.
Hola!
Today, we're gonna make breaded fried squash. This is a recipe that has been in my family for generations. I know it from my mother, and she knows it from her mother as well. I know it sounds a little bit strange, breading and frying squash, but it's actually quite a light and delicious meal. What we're gonna need for this recipe are the following. We are gonna need one big squash, also 3 eggs or 2 eggs, depending on how big the squash is. But the more the better, just to be safe, use 3 eggs. After that, we need 100 grams of flour and 3 garlic cloves that we're gonna use for a sauce. These are the elements that actually I count towards the price. Other things that we also need is oil, salt, and pepper, which are also essential for this, but I expect that these are common items within any kitchen. That being said, guys, let's jump straight to the kitchen and see how it's done. We will begin by peeling the squash. Once the skin has been removed, we'll proceed to slice the squash into pieces the thickness of a finger. The next step is to layer all the slices into a bowl, sprinkling salt on top of each layer. Once all the pieces of squash have been placed into the bowl, we will add the last salt and we will leave them for 1 to 1.5 hours so the water can come out of the squash. Then we will peel the 3 pieces of garlic. The next step is to mash up the garlic using a garlic press. We will add pepper, salt, and oil on top of the garlic. And the last step to finish the garlic sauce is to add water and mix. Add water according to your taste, if you want a stronger or a milder taste. Then we will pour the flour into a plate. We'll also crack 3 eggs into a bowl, add salt and pepper, and then start beating them. The eggs are ready when they have the same color and foam starts forming on the surface. We then put the stove on medium heat. Place our pan and about 1 centimeter to 1.5 centimeters of oil. Next, we'll cover our cutting board so we don't get it dirty. Now that the water has come out of the squash, we need to drain it. To start breading the squash, we will first dip it into flour. Then we will dip it into the beaten egg. Afterwards again in the flour, and we will place it on the cutting board. We repeat the same process until all the squash has been breaded. Once the oil is hot, we will start placing the squash in the hot oil, and our goal is to see a nice golden brown surface on each side. After just a few minutes, they're done on one side. So we're gonna start turning them around. Now this looks delicious. Few more minutes and the squash is ready to be taken out. Once we manage to make a layer of squash in the plate, again on top of each of it we add a spoon of garlic sauce, just like we did with the salt earlier. The last thing that we need to do is we need to bake some bread for the squash. So we're gonna turn our oven to 200 degrees Celsius and we're gonna pop the bread in for about 10 minutes. After that, we take it out and we slice it and it's done. So guys, here we are now. The food is cooked. The squash is fried and it looks very nice, at least for me. It's a bit burnt on the surface on one side, but I think it's still delicious. And with some bread, this is how I like to eat it. Looks amazing, at least from my point of view. And yeah, usually this you can either eat by itself or you can eat it on bread. This is actually how I used to do it back home when I was a kid. This recipe actually being something from my mom and my grandmother's cuisine book. But enough talk. Let me taste the proper squash with bread. Even though we let it drain and most of the water came out once we put the salt on it, the squash still is juicy and still has liquids. So basically, when we eat it, it's very smooshy and quite delicious, quite juicy and delicious, and it goes. I've always been surprised how well squash goes with garlic or garlic sauce. They're amazing. Whenever you want a quick food and something very light, not heavy, not too meat, not way too greasy, I would always recommend trying the fried squash. It's actually one of my favorite seasonal foods for autumn and spring and so on. Plus, in these times that we're living right now, garlic, you know, it's good for the immunity system, so it might help. But don't listen to me, I'm not a medical doctor. I just love garlic. Okay guys, thank you for joining us once again. And if you enjoy our videos and you like them, please subscribe, share and like. It will help me and Miguel a lot with our channel, and we're just gonna keep on delivering, and we're gonna try to make more and more recipes, some unknown, some improvised, some adapted. Until next time guys, see you, and I'm just gonna finish this whole plate. So, have a great one guys. Mm.